everybody. It's Voice of the Buffaloes, Mark Johnson. This week in the Buffalo Stampede, we wrap up the Pac-12 Conference Tournament in Las Vegas with my broadcast partner, Buffs great Scott Wilke. After a first-round win over Dayton in the NIT, we'll talk with sophomore D'Shawn Schwartz, who had a big ball game for the Buffaloes. A little lacrosse as well with Miranda Stinson. And we'll wrap up the calendar sports year with the head Buffalo athletic director, Rick George. Right now on the Buffalo Stampede. Well, it was certainly a festive atmosphere before the semifinal matchup between the Buffaloes and the #1 seed Washington Huskies here in Las Vegas at the Pac-12 Conference Tournament. Hi, everybody. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Welcome into the Buffalo Stampede. Scott Wilke, my partner on the radio broadcast. Buffs ended up falling in the semifinals, but had a strong start to this one. 56-51, knocked off Cal in the opening game before taking care of Oregon State in the quarterfinals. Now, it wasn't a picture-perfect game in that first game. 23 turnovers against the Cal Golden Bears. But, Scotty, the way the Buffs defended and rebounded in this tournament was fantastic.
Yeah, the numbers were amazing on the boards. They won the tournament by 40 rebounds over the 3 games. Defense kept them in the game, and they won it with a little bit of offense at the end against Cal. And then the last 2 games, the defense did well, but the offense kind of left them today. Yeah,
that Cal game, by the way, was a very quiet game for Tyler Bay. In fact, the first couple of ball games, he was non-existent, and yet they were able to overcome that.
Yeah, and they won it through contributions from other guys like Alex Strading, who had 10 points against Oregon State. And team defense and rebounding just was enough to win those first 2.
Yeah, it really was spectacular. In fact, the Buffaloes were +20 when rebounding against Cal. They went +9 against Oregon State, so you're +30 those 2 ball games. The Alex Strading story was outstanding in that quarterfinal matchup with a victory over Oregon State. Here's a guy, because Tyler Bay's in foul trouble, Evan Batty's in foul trouble, and a guy that's not used a whole lot came in and gave Colorado a career-high 10 points, was outstanding in giving energy to that team.
He gets a lot of DMPs throughout the season, did not play, and when he comes in, always good energy, plays smart, plays within himself, and yesterday a career high. It was really good for him.
Yeah, good stuff. And McKinley Wright was outstanding in those first couple of ball games. D'Shawn Schwartz, I think, played pretty well. Really, as this team continued to mature down the stretch, they won 10 of 12, by the way, coming into the semifinal. The defense was really kind of I think a team defense. I heard one of the guys say to me, he said, we began trusting each other in the defensive end.
Yeah, and trust is big when you're doing defensive rotations. If somebody gets beat, you got to leave your man, trust that someone else is going to pick up your man. That's what you're talking about with trust, and it really gelled with the Buffs later in the season, and the rebounding really came to fruition as well. And you can win ball games if you do those 2 things and hit timely offense.
Yeah, that was the problem, though, in the semifinals. But the Buffs went 2-0 to start, victory over Cal, victory over Oregon State, and then they ran into the #1 seed Washington. Before we talk more about that, let's hear post-game comments from head coach Tad Boyle after that semifinal game.
We didn't play well enough to win tonight. Obviously we didn't take care of the basketball like we needed to. But I love your fight. I love your desire. I love the fact that you guys care. You have no idea how far you've come over the last 6 to 8 weeks. You have no idea. And guys, it's supposed to hurt right now. Okay? It's supposed to hurt. It's not because of our effort. Okay? It's not because of our toughness. And I can't tell you how proud I am of you. I do not believe that this season's over with for us. Because what that means is we get to continue on together as a group. I get to keep coaching you for another couple weeks, okay? And you guys get to keep playing for another couple weeks. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3, family. Good job.
All right, post-game comments from head coach Tad Boyle following the Buffalo's 66-61 loss to the #1 seed Washington. Buffs got out quick in that one. In fact, forcing Mike Hopkins to call a timeout 2 minutes in. They got up by as many as 8 in that first half, led by 6, in fact, at the intermission. It was a great start against the Huskies.
Yeah, and that was a problem with the Buffs earlier in the season where they did not get out of the gate very well, but they did today and jumped all over them. But Washington is a veteran team. They didn't get rattled, and they came back.
Yeah, in the second half, they came back with a vengeance. I wonder a little bit. Matisse Thybulle can be so disruptive from a defensive standpoint. I wonder if it was more a lack of offensive aggression by Colorado, more so than it was the defense of Washington, though.
I think it was a combination, but I do think the Buffs were very tentative against that zone. You have to attack it very aggressively, both inside and off the dribble. And we just didn't get much there in that first 8 to 10 minutes of the second half. Really struggled to get even good looks at all.
Tad Boyle seems to think they're in the NIT. I tend to agree, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Fairly confident, but you're never sure until you hear your name called on Sunday afternoon. So we're got to wait till then, but I'm pretty sure they'll play, and I'm hoping for a home court.
Yeah, it could be awful nice for the Buffs to get a home game for the NIT, but once again, the Buffaloes 21-12 by the time it wraps up here in Las Vegas as we continue here at the Buffalo Stampede.
Just because you're not in the field of 68 does not mean your season ends now. Another shot at it. 32 more teams will be unveiled here at the National Invitation Tournament Selection Special. The 4 seed, the Fighting Tad Boyles, the Colorado Buffaloes, 21 wins on the season. McKinley Wright finished 4th in the Pac-12. On Tuesday, they will host the Dayton Flyers.
Hey, congratulations. The NIT has great history. And the Final Four is played in Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden is like the mecca of basketball, guys. It's a special place. So obviously, you know, we've got to win a game on Tuesday night before we can. It's all about getting better and trying to win the next game. But I just want you to know what a great opportunity this is. You know, roughly about 140 teams are still playing basketball this time of year, and that's great. We got a chance to continue our season, which I was hopeful after the tough loss to Washington the other night. We've come a long way over the last 5 or 6 weeks. So I hope you are excited. I know I am. I know our coaches are. Let's have a good practice tomorrow. Come ready to go, and let's have some fun. Okay? Yeah, sure. All right, guys. All right, fellas.
Well, there was the announcement. The Buffaloes did make the postseason, not the NCAA, but they got to the NIT after finishing up 10 of 13 down a stretch. Hi, everybody. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. D'Shawn Schwartz joining us. Buffs meeting with the Dayton Flyers in the opening round of the National Invitation Tournament. First up, before we talk about the ball game, when you saw the name pop up on the screen, I mean, there was question. I mean, only 4 Pac-12 teams got in the postseason, only 1 in the NIT. That was Colorado, so very impressive.
Yeah, we knew that the Pac-12 wasn't going to get very many looks from most of the country. A lot of talk around the country was saying that we might get 1 team in the tournament.
That's
we
right.
might get a couple teams in postseason, so we're happy to be here.
Yeah, without question. So the Buffaloes meet up with Dayton, who win it 78-73. In a game like this, the defense wasn't as good as it had been down the stretch of the season. You guys were able to kind of fight through and survive, though, weren't you?
Yeah, they were a team that's really good in transition, and there's a couple teams that have competed with that in our league, but they were definitely really solid.
Yeah, most teams don't want to come in here and try and run with the Buffaloes at elevation. They come out of the A-10. They had a #1 efficiency offense in that league. You can kind of tell that when they got out and ran a little bit, couldn't you?
Yeah, I believe it. They move the ball really well. All their guys are ready to shoot. They play really well together. You can tell they have chemistry. All
right, this guy, by the way, had 19 points, tied for the game high with McKinley. 5 3-pointers, a career high. It looked good coming out of your hand. You were feeling out there. You were hunting those threes.
Yeah, got a couple from McKinley, got a couple from Ev. I make sure to thank the passer every single time I make a shot.
Yeah, can you feel it when it's coming out of your hand? You know it's in?
Yeah, and I really love that ball. That Wilson ball is beautiful to me. I can't lie to you.
And that's a change from the regular season, isn't it?
Yep.
So the ball makes a difference for you?
It makes me feel like high school.
Is that right? All right. Well, it worked out very well. That ball will continue, by the way, through the NIT as the Buffaloes get the 78-73 win over Dayton in the opening round of the National Invitation Tournament. Afterward, we heard from head coach Tad Boyle.
Welcome to the postseason. Welcome to the postseason. I'm telling you, you do not play bad teams this time of year. You don't play them. They're not, because they're sitting at home. And that was a high-level game against a high-level team. Those guys are really efficient offensively. You can see why they shoot 50%. They share the ball. They're really good. But you guys got stops when you had to get stops. And I really like the way you played aggressively on offense. We got to take the fight to them on offense. You guys did a really good job of that last 7 to 9 minutes. Had some really good minutes. Alex, first half minutes were big. Lucas, second half minutes were big. Dalen, great minutes off the bench. okay? Great team victory. Great team victory. Bench, you were great. Great energy. Scout team, great job. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Family on three. 1, 2, 3, family. One more. Good job.
There we hear post-game comments from head coach Tad Boyle. He cleans them up a little bit. We're on TV here, so be careful. What was kind of his message after the game, though, about the way you guys maybe didn't compete or didn't perform defensively?
Yeah, we knew coming out, there was one timeout where he really let us know that we weren't playing as hard as we needed to be.
Yeah.
Our defense wasn't as solid as it has been the past couple of games, and challenged us to step up.
You guys all love playing with each other. Did you exhale like I did when Tyler went down? Guy rolls up on the back of his leg. That makes you nervous, doesn't it?
No question. A guy like him going down is not the best thing for our team, but some other guys stepped up.
Yeah.
So.
How about Alex Strading in the first half? Gave the Buffs about 8.5 minutes, 5 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of offensive boards. I thought Alex in the first half, Dalen Kuntz in the second half really gave you guys some nice minutes.
Yeah, Alex is a tremendous guy, moving on kind of little minutes, and he always gets in there and does his thing. Dalen is going to be a really great player. I love playing with those guys.
How about the way he dunks it? He drives with a purpose, doesn't he?
Yeah, I've been seeing him do that for a long time. Something I need to check out.
I like it. I like it. Well, good luck moving on in the NIT.
Appreciate that.
All right, D'Shawn Schwartz, he tied with McKinley Wright with a game-high 19 points as the Buffs get an opening round win of the NIT 78-73 over Dayton. They move on now to the second round. Coming up next here in the Stampede, we're talking some lacrosse. Senior Miranda Stinson joins us next.
Crafty, and she fires in, and Stinson can do no wrong. 3 consecutive goals from Miranda Stinson, equaling the school record because the Buffs are starting to run away with it.
Welcome back to the Buffalo Stampede. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Miranda Stinson, senior for the lacrosse team, joining us. They've been on a pretty good run. They're 3-1 right now, Pac-12 conference play, and she has been scoring like Michael Jordan. You know who Michael Jordan is, right?
I do know who Michael Jordan is.
Yeah, she's been scoring like Michael Jordan here as of late. Kind of take us back to this weekend. USC, you drop one against the Trojans, but you bounce back with a nice win against Arizona State. Take us through the match with the Trojans.
Well, we came out really slow, and I think that we had some nerves going into that game, and we couldn't climb back. We had a lot to fix going into ASU, and we focused on the little things in that game and came out on top.
All right. Yeah, Mother Nature hasn't been cooperating with you playing outside here lately in the Front Range either, has she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of snow falling. That affects things a little bit.
It does, it does, but the sunshine's been really nice recently.
It certainly has. All right, how about Arizona State? By the way, 6 goals in a first. She won the game by herself, essentially, because you won like 15-3 over the Sun Devils.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. We had some great defensive play, though. They only let 3 goals in, and we had Julia Sella back for the first. Actually, she played in Stanford, but she came back and had some great saves.
You've been very good offensively this season. She did earlier this year at Cal, by the way, in Berkeley. Scored a school record 8 goals in a game. This sport's becoming too easy for you. We got to find something harder for you.
I wouldn't say that.
Hey, if things feel good offensively, I mean, you know, we're sitting here at a basketball court. When a guy starts going off offensively basketball, sometimes they talk about being in his zone, kind of feeling it or know it's coming. Do you know that in lacrosse? Can you feel it coming?
I do feel that. In Cal, I definitely started coming out hot, and I felt really good. That was terrible weather during that game.
Right.
But our coach was telling us that we got to take things into our own hands, and I really thought about that going into Cal and USC and Arizona, and hopefully I can keep it up. How
would you say this team has been playing? There are a few losses they've suffered. You played some very high-level competition falling to ranked opponents. How would you say the team overall is playing?
We're playing all right. I think we can do a lot better, and that's what we are pushing ourselves to do this week. Going into spring break, we want to practice hard and reach our potential.
Well, the lacrosse team has got more coming up. Of course, next week we'll talk more about that with Miranda in just a moment. But the tennis team also rolling right now. Just got a big win over Washington State.
We're playing Washington State today here at the Rocky Mountain Tennis Center. We just finished our doubles matches, came out extremely strong, played some really good doubles. Number 3 took it to them really quick. They won 6-love. I'm pretty sure number 1s were up, and then me and Sarah managed to seal the deal with a 6-2 win. My game is all based around my energy. Like, I love to get fired up, I love to get intense. Like, I feel like my energy rubs off on other people, and if I can get other people fired up, then everyone gets into it, everyone enjoys it more, and I just feel like it helps everyone. We're really looking forward to getting right into the middle of Pac-12. On Friday we had It looked like an easy match, but it really wasn't. Everyone came out strong. We played some of our best tennis so far. Everyone was strong in singles, like played some really good matches, but unfortunately we came up short. But that energy really carried over to today, and we can't wait to keep moving forward.
A nice job by the CU tennis team as we continue talking with Miranda Stinson. Lacrosse has got Oregon coming up on Saturday, and then a rivalry matchup in state here with DU coming up early next week. Pac-12. Give us a thought or two about the Oregon match coming up.
For the Oregon match, I think just like ASU, we need to focus on the little things and not get complacent because Denver, the next game is going to be a really hard one, and we want to go into that having a good game after Oregon.
Is there a little bit of a rivalry with DU, being that they're just down the road?
Yeah, I would say there's a rivalry. We lost to them last year. We beat them the year before and the year before that. So we're looking for a win.
Now you're a senior. Is it starting to hit home a little bit that the end is near, if you will?
Yeah, I was looking at the schedule, and we're more than halfway through, and that's a pretty scary thought.
And then she's going to Portugal, and you're going to be woofing. I had no idea what that was till just moments ago. What is that all about?
Yes, woofing is an acronym, and it stands for Working on Organic Farms.
All right.
And I'll be doing that in August through September.
Okay, and just because you've got an interest in Portugal, or how did that all happen?
I just want to explore and learn about a culture.
Good for you. So just travel. And then what? What are you going to do?
And then after that, I would like to open a rock climbing gym eventually. So.
All right. Rock climbing. You know, that's very dangerous. I know your parents aren't here to question you about it. That's very dangerous for somebody like you to be doing that.
It is. I'm not allowed to do that right now.
No, not during the season at all. The way this team is playing, and again, Ann Elliott is I think, set a very high bar for this program in the few years that she's had this thing going. Do you feel good about where this team is going against Pac-12 and kind of looking down the road at postseason potentially?
Yes, I think we haven't reached our potential yet, and we need to work hard to get there and be more consistent, but I am positive. All right. Well, good luck the rest of the season. She leads, by the way, the Pac-12 in points right now. Have fun down in Portugal, and be careful when you're climbing rocks. Thank you.
Miranda Stinson joining us for a couple of minutes. Again, Oregon coming up on Saturday in women's lacrosse, and then DU early next week here in Boulder. Coming up next on the Stampede, we're going to talk with the head Buffalo, the athletic director, Rick George, coming up next.
And that is going to do it. And look at Tad Boyle. Is he enjoying this one? Did Colorado want this one? You bet the Buffaloes did. And they got it. 69-65.
Back in the Buffalo Stampede, it's our final show, by the way, of the athletic calendar year 2018-2019. We thought we'd get kind of a state of the program with athletic director Rick George. So hope you got some big notes you're ready to get to.
I got all kinds of notes. There's so many great things that are going on here. It's hard for me to put them all down in the time frame we got.
You know, the one thing that's really fun right now, of course, the men's basketball team is in the NIT, so they get to continue playing after what was a great finish to the regular season.
Yeah, it was a great finish to the regular season. I think we were 10 of 13 the last 13 games of the year. I think we're, really came together, and, we all knew we had a young basketball team. We knew that they were going to start gelling, and they have, and they're playing really good basketball right now. Got a tough one tomorrow night against Dayton, 9 o'clock Mountain game, but we're going to go out there and compete.
The NIT, and Tad said it best. He said, listen, when you start the season, everybody wants to get to the NCAA, but the NIT is a very nice consolation prize. How does that work, Rick, in terms of getting the game here, and what are your involvements with all of that?
Our involvement is, we really don't know anything until the NIT announces. We don't know if you're going to host. We put a bid in. We're always going to put a bid in to host because we think that gives us the best chance to win whenever we have these postseason tournaments, whether it's soccer or volleyball or what have you. But for the NIT, we're going to always put in that we want to host, and we put in that we were going to host, and we saw that. We were excited. Tad and I talked, and then the next thing we know, it's a 9 o'clock game. So I want our fans to know we had nothing to do with that. We're on ESPN2, and we're excited about being in the NIT.
That's right. Get your tickets. 303-49-BUFFS, CUBuffs.com. Also, spring practice is going to get away from Mel Tucker. I know you're very excited about Mel coming in and what he's done so far. Now he finally gets to get on the field with those young fellas.
Well, he does. And, I was down there, this morning when we started practice and, got a chance to see how they conduct practices, and I'm really excited about that. But I also want to go back to basketball because the other thing, you've got two of our sophomores that were first team all Pac-12, That's right. Which is pretty significant, to have two of our sophomores on the all Pac-12 team, and I think we're one of only only two that was represented by 2 of our student athletes. So I'm really proud of McKinley and Tyler and just the team as a whole. If you think about this team, you know, we've got 8 players that are seeing court time.
Yep, that's right.
And that's pretty phenomenal. And you got your point guard that has been overcoming injury all season. So it's really been a great year.
You know what it does? You want to put the cart ahead of the horse here because we've got NIT to worry about. It starts getting you a little excited for next season already, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think next season begins tomorrow, really. Yeah. I mean, you know, it gives us an extra opportunity to practice. And the longer we go, the more we're going to be able to practice and the more prepared I think we'll be for next year.
We're going to continue with the athletic director here at CU, Rick George, in just a moment. In fact, we were just mentioning spring ball gets underway. Believe it or not, we're already looking ahead to 2019. And just recently, we had the poster shoot to promote the football program, and our cameras were there.
Three, two, one. Pitbull, retake. Getting ready for this photo shoot, man. Finna take some pictures, have a little fun out here.
You know, today we're just gonna, we're gonna feel good. We're gonna make ourselves look good, and we're gonna enjoy ourselves. So
yeah.
Hey, they're gonna feel a lot of fun, dancing, action.
Turn me up. Watch out.
You know, I might get a little flex in there. I'm trying to get a little bit swole. I'm trying to get a little bit swole right now.
Behind the scene curls, get that little pump in, we get to go. I want to hit a Heisman, maybe a little layout, something like that on the ground. I don't know,
Whoa, you look like a turtle.
Come on, fat head.
Oh, he can get it on though. You just gotta stop.
I'm keep it simple. I'm gonna smile.
A little smile or something. Okay,
that. Have a football shine.
Show what your mama gave you. All right, cool.
Nah, you.
Here at the photo shoot for next season. You heard what I said, next season. Mel Tucker era. It's about time. Make sure y'all all come to the home games. Pack it out. We need the student section lit. We need everybody there. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. Mel Tucker era is about to start, phase 2.
Great photo shoot, getting those posters ready. When's the Rick George poster coming out, too?
You know, they've said that I can't be on a poster, and I'm all for that. I don't want to, so I'm happy about that we're not on a poster. But, it is exciting. People are getting excited for football, and, you upgrade your seat right now for season ticket holders, and we'll have some online sales for individual tickets and packages and stuff coming up. And, if you think about it, our spring game's a month away, and that'll be exciting to see how this team develops. And so I'm excited about football, but we've also got a lot of teams competing right now in their championship season that are going really well.
I was excited. By the way, April 27th is the football showcase down at Folsom Field, and Mel said he's going to have a real football game, so we're looking forward to that. Hey, at this point, with Mel kind of jumping into it, he's getting his team prepared. How much interaction do you have with him, or do you just kind of step back and say, okay, now's your time to coach and get this thing ready for us?
Yeah, usually, my position with coaches is when they're in their season, when they're in their practice mode, I stay out of their way. I don't go to a lot of practices, I like for them to go out and do their thing. And, we hire great coaches, and we hire them because they're going to run great practices and they're going to make our teams better. And so I stay out of their way.
A couple of quick hitters here. Lacrosse doing relatively well right now. In fact, got a nice winning record in Pac-12 play.
Yeah, we're 3-1 in Pac-12 play, and, I'd like to be 4-0, and I'm sure Annie would too. But I like where our team's at. There's a good mix of some youth and some veterans. And I think as our season continues to go along with lacrosse, we're going to be there right at the end. Just
recently we had the national championships in skiing, and you can tell what kind of program you've got when you finish third in the country and everyone's unhappy about it.
Yeah, it's funny, third in the country, you'll take that anytime, right?
I think so, yeah.
And, again, you mix some youth and some veterans together, and, they finished third. We have high expectations for 2019-20.
And lastly here, who knows that Joe Klecker was a top 20 track team in and of himself?
Yeah, he was a whole university in himself. He finished 16th in the nation by himself, so it's pretty cool. And, Joe did a great job, and we've got great coaches in our cross-country and track programs.
Undoubtedly. Well, it's always good to be a Buff. Good to be a Buff right now, so appreciate the time.
I appreciate you having me.
All right, that's Rick George, the athletic director here at the University of Colorado, as we put a wrap not only on the show, but our season of shows. I'm voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. We'll talk to you next season.